All right, welcome back to Sasquatch Off Road. Here I have Jordan Roscoe, and he had an encounter, and this encounter happened last night. An encounter. We'll call it an encounter.
Yeah, yeah. So I live in Helena, Montana, and last night, which was June
August.
9th, or excuse me, August 9th.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend and I decided we wanted to go for a little drive up in the mountains and just watch the sunset. So we got out there. Gosh, I don't know, probably around 7-ish, maybe quarter to 8. Parked the truck, sat in the tailgate, and having a couple of beers and watching the sunset. Super pretty place. It's I guess I'll say the location. I don't care. It's out. It's a little. They call it York.
Okay.
Pretty much all that's out there is a little bar. But anyway, it's a bunch of national forests. Got out there. We're doing our thing. Just taking pictures, looking at the nice view, and we're visiting, and we hear this sound off to our left. I'm guessing maybe 400 or 500 yards away in the timber line. And I can't. I'm not even going to try to mimic the sound because I can't. But this morning, talking to my girlfriend about it, and it kind of sounds like in Jurassic Park, like the Velociraptors. You know what I'm talking about? That sound that they make in the movies.
Yeah, like the clicking and stuff.
Well, not the clicking, just like the. It's hard to explain, but.
Like when they're communicating with each other.
Yes. So I go shh to her, and she heard it. We both heard it, and we're like, that was weird. And then it kind of sound also, kind of how like a grizzly bear will kind of like that, but it is so hard to explain. I can't even really describe it. But you could tell it throughout the whole thing. It sounded like definitely something that had a big throat, like a big throat and a big lungs. But
a lung capacity.
Anyways, yes, we heard that, and we're like, oh, that was weird. And I thought initially, maybe it was like a buck or a bull elk, snort wheezing or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we keep kind of hanging out, and then we hear it again in the same direction. And we're like, okay, that's weird. And so at this point, we're starting to kind of listen and pay attention. I'm a believer, and my girlfriend is, I wouldn't say a believer, she's kind of open to the idea, but anyway, so we're hanging out and continue visiting, and then it starts becoming more frequent. It's in the same spot, and then what started really getting our attention is we'd hear the noise, and then now there was a response in a different location. So it initially came from the west, and then one of the ones, or however many, would make a sound from the west. We'd get it from the north, and we're like, okay, this is getting kind of weird. Like it seems like they're communicating. And then it got to the point where we'd hear it a couple of times. We'd get one from the west, one from the north, and then all of a sudden we were getting one from the south. And it kept continuing. And it was the weird thing was, it was the same exact sound, no matter the direction. Like, it literally sounded the exact same. And it just started getting more frequent and more frequent. And then it got closer from every direction. And then we kind of stopped. And then we were like, oh, it must be done. And at this point, we're talking like, I don't know, is it a Sasquatch? What is it? We're trying to figure out maybe a bird, but it's nothing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
In the woods. And I'm not claiming to be like some mountain man, but I've, grew up in Montana, and I've spent a lot of time in the mountains and out in the prairies, and I've never heard this.
Yeah. So at this point, you guys are essentially surrounded by whatever it is that's making the noise.
Yeah, so we've had, yes, at this point, we have had these things, whatever, communicating and making these sounds from every direction except from the east. We haven't had any from the east at this point yet. And it was starting to feel a little concerning. like we were like getting circled, surrounded. Um, and gosh, throughout the entire experience, we probably heard it. I'm not even kidding. Around 40 times. It was a lot. It was a lot. And every now and then it'd go maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes without hearing it. But then it got to the point where you'd hear one like from the west, and then right after that one sounded off, you'd hear one from the north and one from the south. And like it was within a few seconds, as soon as one sounded off, at least 2 or 3 other ones would sound off. And then it got quiet for probably 15 minutes, and we're like, oh, they must be done or moved on or whatever. And we would hear it again. And at this point, I did have 2 pistols in my truck, and I grabbed a pistol out. I wouldn't say we felt threatened.
Aware, I guess, would be a better.
Yeah, and I guess felt a little more comfortable with the sidearm.
Yeah.
And then so we're in like a big, I don't know if I'd call it a basin, but it's a kind of a valley between it. There's tons of timber everywhere, and all of a sudden we start hearing it way off to the east now. So now we've heard it from every direction, and it sounds like there's 2 to 3 of them, but you can tell they're traveling away from us east. And you could hear them.
Okay.
It's tough to guess how far, but like they started sounding like they were way off, and we're like, okay, whatever it is, it left. And they kept sounding off, and like, all right, well, they moved on, and it's dark at this point. So we load the truck up and start the truck, and I'm just sitting there, and I roll the windows down, and instantly back to the west, not far from us, 400 or 500 yards, we start hearing it again over there. So I shut my truck off and roll the windows down, and we keep hearing it off to the west again. And this probably continued for another 5 minutes. And initially, I didn't hear him. I don't have the best hearing, but my girlfriend kept hearing it. And that's when I, really started listening again. And kept hearing it. And then it went pretty silent. I decided I'd start my truck again, thinking, because it seemed like I started the truck and it was almost as if they're saying, hey, they're leaving, they're communicating or whatever. But it was weird just because we thought they had left, And the distance they had traveled was a mile or 2 at least. And as soon as I started my truck, they were right back, or some stayed, some left. And then I drove my truck down the hill a little ways, shut it off, and we never heard it again from that point forward. But the whole thing lasted probably an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. And like I said, 30 to 40 times, I don't know what you'd want to call it, communication. It wasn't a grunt or anything like that. It was just a weird, like almost exhale sound.
Yeah, like exhaling all the air out of their lungs.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And it was just weird to us that every time they did it, it was the exact same sound. The only thing that changed was the distance they were from us. So the volume of it would change a little bit.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention, before they traveled, the mile or 2 away from us, one would sound off to the west, and then they sounded off a few times. So right where we're parked, it dips way down, into a valley or a bowl, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And you could hear them slowly traveling down below us a ways. And they did that a few times, like as they were going. And then once they were a ways away, then you could just barely hear them way out there. And whatever it was, we feel like it was a minimum of 5, just because of all the locations and the time between calls. Like there had to be at least 5 of them.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. We never felt threatened, but it definitely was concerning. The girlfriend, I was sitting on the tailgate, and she walked right up into my legs and put her back into me, and she was getting a little nervous. But it was cool. It was a really cool experience, and Yeah, I have no idea what it was, but it was really cool. It's just the fact that there was that many. We heard it that many times.
Yeah.
It was wild. We didn't obviously, but we were kind of thinking about like spending the night out there and just listening. And we might do that actually before the summer's over. Just go up for a night and just listen.
Okay.
And I did try to replicate the sound back to them a couple times, and they never responded to me immediately.
Yeah.
Because I can't even come close to making the sound it was. It's just picture like a shop vac hose.
Yep.
Like, they're ribbed. It sounded like something coming out through a shop vac hose, like a big, like 3-inch ribbed hose with a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like yelling or grunting. It was like, I wish I could try to explain it. And we contemplated a couple of times trying to record it, but we didn't think the phones would pick it up. And it was so sporadic that we would have been recording for 15, 20 minutes at a time. And we never really thought it was going to continue like it did. But it was weird. There's a road, a county road that runs to the bottom of this basin. And there was a couple people like ripping around on 4-wheelers and stuff. But and it was weird actually, because you could see the headlights on this quad way out to the east. And those three we think it was three that ventured off, headed the direction that 4-wheeler was driving around. So, I don't know if they were trying to push people out of there or what, but and a couple of years ago I was out there and I did hear some knocking once.
Okay.
But, yeah, so that's it though. It was really interesting though.
When the noises started, how far away were they? And then when they ended, were they so you're saying that they went past you almost?
Yeah, oh yeah. So when they first started, I'm gonna guess no further than 800 yards.
Okay.
And the closest, my guesstimation, would be a couple of 100 yards, and it was just one particular call because it was like the loudest, and that was to our south. And that was the first time we realized they were moving around.
All right. So you think they were moving around the bottom of this valley that you guys were sitting on top, or on top of this ridge?
Yeah, and they were like when I first heard them, they were up a little higher than us, but they were definitely moving down to the bottom and like getting around us. And then the last time we heard them was where we originally heard them before we left, about in the same distance, but they were moving around pretty frequent, and it was cool. It was cool, but we didn't have binoculars or anything. We just literally went out there to watch the sunset. But and I got a couple of pictures before it all started happening. I'll send you a couple of pictures.
All right.
Of where we were. But yeah, just kind of a crazy experience. Didn't go out there looking or thinking about them at all. It just happened, So, but yeah, that's it, man.
That's pretty cool, man.
So,
all right.
But yeah, I'll keep you posted. I want to go out and see if anything else happens. Like I said, that's the second time I've had something happen out there, and
in this area.
Yeah, and actually in that area, the wood knots I heard were maybe a half a mile from where we were last night.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. And it's super thick timber. There's a lot of timber up there. But it is fairly frequented by humans. Like, there's a fair amount of things going on up there, but just lots of timber. So, like, it would be easy to stay concealed up there if you really wanted to. So.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing with us.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, not a problem. Yep, no problem, man.
Okay. Yeah, if you have any other stories or anything, or you hear anything else from up in that area, I really love Montana. You can just let us know and we'll share it on here. So
Absolutely, yeah. I got a friend. It's actually my girlfriend's mom's boyfriend, and I was talking with him about this morning, and he didn't tell me what happened. He wants to tell me in person about an experience he had here in Montana when he was a kid. That he hasn't gone back to that location since, apparently. I was telling him about your channel and stuff, and he said he's going to consider sharing it with you. So I'll
all
talk
right,
to him and see if we can get him on for you.
that'd be awesome. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem, man.
All right, man. It was good talking to you.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you bet, man. See ya.
Yep, bye.
All right, thanks for listening. That's what we have for you today. And if you haven't had an encounter and you want to share it with us, you can email us at sasquatchoffroad@yahoo.com. Thanks for listening.